Good evening, everyone. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided by sending such notice to the Asbury Park Press, the Middletown Patch, and the Middletown Township Public School website, and the posting of such notice at the August T. Minor administrative offices in each elementary, middle, and secondary school in the district. Roll call.
Mrs. Caminiti? Here. Mrs. Farley? Here. Mr. Fitzgerald?
Here.
Mrs. Minuis?
Here.
Mrs. Gillespie? Here. Mr. Toth?
Here.
Mrs. Wright? Here. Mrs. Tobacco? Here. Mr. Oh,
Here. Now need a motion to go to exec session for matters of personnel and litigation.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
See you in a while, everyone.
One.
Good evening, everyone. Please stand for the pledge. Like allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I'm introduced this evening, Paige Bailey from High School North to come to speak.
Hi,
Hi, Paige.
I'm from Middletown High School North. And on October 27th, we welcomed our newest Lions to High School North as we held our freshman orientation. Assistant Principal Rasmussen did a phenomenal job organizing this event, and our civic leaders, band, and cheerleaders all helped to welcome the class of 2029. On September 6th, we used our new turf field for the very first time as the North football team dominated in our victory over Lacey. Mid-North Nation was in full force with their blackout team, and the players, band, color guard, cheerleaders, and dance team all shined. On September 18th, we were honored to have Jordan Como present his I'm Just a Kid with an IEP assembly. It was extremely interactive with a great message that our students really enjoyed. High School North's Praise Referral program celebrates students' positive actions and contributions across the campus. Staff members identify students who demonstrate kindness, compassion, respect, and leadership throughout the learning community. So far this month, the following individuals have been recognized for upholding and modeling these ideals: Casey Pistone, Evelyn Swansky, Isabella Turney, Julia Ferrella, Shane Mora, Kendra Ott, Deanna Ruffalo, Jessica Figliore, Natalie Treza, Lisa Raspiopi, Katie Beater, and Addison Lopez. Head of the Pride High School North students and staff members of the month and staff member of the month recognition program celebrates exceptional scholastic achievements and highlights the positive influence of professionals throughout our building. Nominees for this distinguished award will be submitted at the conclusion of this week. We are excited to honor the first recipients of our 2024-2025 academic year. Our back to school night was held on Monday, September 9th. We had a great turnout as our parents viewed an introductory video from our administration team, as well as sports overviews from our amazing teachers. College and military rep visits have begun at Middletown High School North. There are close to 100 colleges/universities and military reps coming to speak to the student body. Students sign up for visits as they are interested in room ambiance. Biannual name night for the class of 2025 will be held tomorrow, September 8th. Sophia Chantis was voted B North Week 3 Girls Soccer Player of the Week. Tyndall Park redid 8 of their tennis courts, and our girls tennis team opened the courts for Trinity Hall on Monday, September 16th. Our Lions Club Pee-wee School starts on Monday, September 30th. Ms. Tully and her students cannot wait to start the new year in their new classroom, and our school can't wait to see our friends join us at preschoolers, really brightening the day for all of us in our school. Cheer Experience 2024 is set for Thursday, October 10th. This event enables students ranging from kindergarten through 5th grade to join the squad for a football game versus Red Band. We will have a pink out event that evening where proceeds will be donated to Breast Intentions, a local charity that provides immediate support to local women battling breast cancer. Week of Respect will be recognized throughout our school from October 7th to October 11th. Each day will feature a community-wide theme, personal announcements, and a mini lesson from Ms. Smith, our anti-bullying specialist. We are proud to have Robert Frank, editor-in-chief of Princeton Review, come to North on Thursday, October 17th from 6:30 to 7:30 with his Finding Best Fit College seminar for college-bound 10th to 12th graders and their families. Mr. Frank will be sharing his expert advice with regards to the college admissions process, focused on deciding factors when selecting a college, what colleges are really looking for in application, and the true cost of attending college, and much more. The PSAT and National Merit Qualifying ST will be administered to all 10th and 11th graders on October 21st. Lastly, Ms. Maria Fligoletti, the Middletown High School North Guidance Secretary, is retiring October 1st after 27 years of commitment in the district. Thank you for all of your dedicated years of service to the children of Middletown, and enjoy your well-deserved retirement.
Thank you, Paige. Sophia Castle.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sophia Castone. I'm a 12th grader at Middletown High School South, and I'm honored to be selected as the chosen student speaker for the 2024-2025 school year. Firstly, the beginning of the school year is off to a great start. Senior Open Campus started on Monday, September 9th, with minimal issues. Mrs. Higgins, our anti-bullying specialist, and Mr. Hudson, our student assistance counselor, presented to the student body about topics related to student services and treating each other with respect. In the recent student class meetings, we covered several important topics. We discussed updates on the cell phone policy, the dress code, the rules regarding tardiness and attendance. We also reviewed the vaping policy, social media guidelines, and parking regulations. Additionally, we talked about safety measures, including safety drills, and outlined expectations for conduct at athletic events. Congratulations to South's fellow students. 7 fellows from Middletown High School South have been selected to be screened at this year's New Jersey School Boards in Atlantic City on October 22nd and 23rd. This event will showcase the many talents of our student filmmakers to the rest of our school boards from all over the state. For the second year in a row, Mid-South will have the most films being screened from any one school in New Jersey. An assembly was held for all freshmen on September 18th. The assembly presented by Jordan Toma, titled "I'm Just a Kid with an IED." Jordan Toma is a top financial advisor and motivational speaker who has overcome his learning differences and has gone on to do amazing things. Staff additionally had a very successful back to school night on Thursday, September 19th. Many parents attended, all with positive feedback. And lastly, Middletown South's Nation looks forward to upholding the title of the best nation in the shore. Thank you.
Thank you, Sophia. Before we get to our committee reports, I want everybody to welcome our new student board members, Megan and Ryan. Welcome, everyone. Now we move on to committee reports, curriculum and instruction. Mrs. Farr.
We met last week, covered a number of topics. I'll just hit some highlights. I wanted to remind everybody about the Parent University series that we have going on. They started last year and they're available on the web. It's a whole variety of topics, K through 12, really runs the gamut. So we would encourage everyone to check those out. They're always recorded and can be played back anytime. We had our first meeting of our stakeholder engagement groups, which is the replacement for tech. It was on K through 5 literacy, and it was a great, really engaging, positive meeting with parents from the community. So happy to see those getting going. We have new school profiles up for High School North and High School South that are available on the website. These are profiles that will accompany applications of our students to colleges, to guiding colleges, an understanding of the great things that our schools have to offer, and they're really impressive, and they were put together by parents in the community. So definitely check those out. Our Freshman Frontiers program, which is our 9th grade seminar type program, kicked off, really successful. We had Jordan Toma, as the speakers mentioned. I was able to see him speak for the parent session in the evening. He was really inspiring. It was a really great opportunity for our students and community. We talked about report cards a lot at elementary, but just to reiterate, we do have a new hybrid model for grades 4 and 5, where they'll be getting a numerical grade in addition to the standards-based grading that they have always had, to just try to prepare a little bit better for the transition to middle school. And there will also be some language shifts for K-3 in ELA, just based on new state standards. Those will be sent around when that's available for parents. We also have, there's a Google form to give students the option how they like their high school transcript to be presented, because there are a couple of different ways that can be done. And depending on, I guess, where you're applying for schools or post-high school opportunities, might want to have it presented a different way. So that's available to students to check out. Also wanted to just highlight that the assessment schedule is up on the website for all of the assessments that students will be taking throughout the year, including the NJSLA dates. I know at not so long back to school night, they had said those weren't live yet, but they are live and they're up on the website if anyone was interested in checking those out. And that's it.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Farley. Move to student services, Mr. Poe.
Yes, thank you. We also met on September 16th, Special Services Committee. A few highlights to update the community about. Just an update on something we mentioned last month, which was the kind of provision of in-class consultative model support in world language courses, meaning inclusion with a special ed trained person helping those world language teachers with special ed students, where normally those folks are those special ed teachers are used to resource room settings. They are now providing in-class support to world language teachers who typically didn't have that support for special ed students in the class. So that's starting up this year. The training is ongoing and only improving from there. Another good update was that the two high schools are working on continuing to work on their co-curricular calendars, meaning kind of a central repository where all students can find updated real-time information on club meetings and things like that. I understand South's calendar is up and North's is almost up and running, right? So that's really good news. If you're not seeing something you're looking for, or your students not, please definitely contact your building administrative team to find out that particular event and also any updates you might think might be missing from that calendar. Another thing we mentioned last month that there's been some progress on is this Central Reach, which is technology for our it's an ABA software program for the district's therapists, teachers, and RBTs. So transitioning from a pencil paper method of keeping their notes and communicating with families, this is a more real-time state-of-the-art way of doing it to have more consistent information and messaging for families. And the last thing, which I'm very excited about, was that our Orton Gillingham training, which, as most people know, I think is the reading curriculum that's been introduced for K-2 literacy. It's a we think we've been told and we understand from the research it's the way to go in terms of teaching literacy to young people based on the science of reading. It's a multi-sensory approach. That's off and running in all the elementary schools for K-2, but we're also glad to know that training is going to be available for other special services teachers in the district as well, and for child study team members. So, for example, those folks who typically didn't know much about Orton Gillingham are now going to be equipped to help out in IEP meetings to know that language and have those conversations. So, all good developments we're glad to hear. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tobin. Now to move on to open the microphone for public comment on agenda items only. If you'd like to make a statement on agenda items only, please step forward, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no one stepping forward, I wish to move on. We have a proclamation tonight. It is the Alpha Delta Kappa month. Now, therefore, the Middletown Township Board of Education proclaims October 24th as Alpha Delta Kappa month in Middletown, New Jersey, and congratulations to the organization in its 77th anniversary. I'm going to turn the microphone to Dr. Alphone.
Thank you. I first want to just take the opportunity to thank everyone for an extremely successful opening of school. It's certainly wonderful to have our students and our staff back in our school buildings. With September also comes our back to school nights. So we've been having them throughout the month of September. They finish up this week. We've had great turnouts at all of the events across the district, very informative sessions, and certainly very, very well attended across the board. We will be starting the process, as you know, of creating our new 5-year strategic plan, which will be in the time span of 2025 to 2030. It just seems impossible that those are the actual years that we're talking about. But if you are interested in becoming a part of the strategic planning committee, you certainly have access to links that we previously sent for you to fill out your interest request, and you'll be put on that committee, and we're looking to start that process in October. I will be sending that information out again at the end of the month in my superintendent's update. And we have also passed that information along to all our parent organization presidents so they can share it at their membership meeting. So we encourage participation, and certainly, it's an exciting time where we get to plan for the course of action for the district for the next 5 years. At last month's meeting, the board approved our transition to the New Jersey School Boards Association policies. We are still working with school boards to get that up and running on our website. We have put a temporary link up there so that the public can access the policies. That won't be the final way that we're gonna use their portal, but we're working through getting that up and running, similar to how we used to have it with our old policy set. But temporarily, we have put it up in a Google Drive that's accessible to all of the public in the interim. The North Turf project has been completed, as our student speaker mentioned, and our teams have been able to play home games and practice on the turf field. It is absolutely beautiful. The track portion is scheduled to be completed by mid-October. It is an overlay that is still on target and on schedule to be finished. They will do it in sections, and they will work around our home game and home practice schedule. As our student speakers both mentioned, and Mrs. Farley, motivational speaker Jordan Toma visited the district recently to speak with our 9th grade freshman frontier students. It was the kickoff to that new model for our freshmen. And I have to say, I've seen a lot of assemblies in my day, and at the conclusion of this assembly, not only were the students engaged the whole time, but they didn't leave the auditorium. They went to the speaker because they wanted to engage with him more. And I think that really says a lot about the connection that he had with our kids in both buildings. And then his parent presentation that evening was equally as inspiring, but certainly tailored as a message for our parents and the immeasurable impact that they have on their children each and every day. And it was really inspiring, and it was a message that we felt was appropriate for our freshmen to really kick off their 4 years of high school. Our reset of student expectations regarding cell phone use during instructional time has been well received by our students and staff. And certainly how that looks is very dependent upon the level, whether it's elementary, middle school, or high school. We have definitely been effective thus far in limiting distractions during learning time. And because of this, we are also seeing kind of the incidental benefit of students actually using their phones less in open block and passing times in hallways. I guess when they're not engaged with it throughout the 80-minute block, there's less of a propensity to want to get on your phone and, you know, see what's been going on, because everybody's been disengaged from their phones during that time. So overall, it has had a positive impact.
I just want to say too, today I passed the high school south. I'm not sure which class, they were walking to the park for gym. And like, everyone was smiling, everyone was engaged. It was just like very nice to see them all, instead of their heads in the phone, they were just talking and walking and enjoying each other.
And when you walk in the high school hallways in passing time, they're just carrying their phones, right? They're not really on them. They're just kind of holding them, which is, you know, which is perfectly fine, but they're definitely engaging with their peers, which is positive and what we had hoped for.
Yep. Thank you.
Last evening, the Board of Education and the Township Committee approved a joint initiative entitled the Truancy Mediation Program. And this is for situations where students are considered truant. The goal of the program, though, is to provide families with resources to support the child in regularly attending school. And rather than these truancy cases being held and heard in open court, and really having fines attached to them, our goal is to handle these more sensitively in conjunction with the township through a mediative process that's collaborative. We are extremely excited about this program because our goal as educators is always to support our students and our families, and being in school is extremely important. But usually these truancy situations are multi-layered and need a bank of resources to help families to cope with these situations. So that's exciting for us, and we're very grateful for the partnership that we have with the township and the municipal court on this. Coupled with that, when we started to engage in this discussion with the township, it gave us pause to reflect on our current attendance policies within the district. And we were able to take a look at some of the practices and protocols that we have in place for documenting illness-related situations for our students. Some of you may be aware that in the past, we would have parents hold on to doctor's notes until the end of a year where they would then go through an appeal process, even if there was documentation of illness from doctor's notes. And it can be stressful for both parents and students and having to wait in order to be able to present that documentation, not knowing if you're going to be promoted, retained, or potentially losing credit, and that has bearing on graduation. So we have decided to reframe those practices to take doctor's notes as they happen fluidly throughout the year, and to not have those documented illness-related situations count towards truancy, retention, or credit bearing, if a student is in good academic standing. I'm a parent myself, as many of us are, I think pretty much all of us are up here, and we know how stressful it can be when your child is sick, they're missing school, and that puts added pressure on the entire situation. And most oftentimes, the students make up the work, they do just fine. So we see no reason why we should be really pursuing those things or making people wait the full year to have that happen. So we will start taking illness-related notes immediately, and they, again, will have no bearing on our internal counts for student absenteeism. However, the state requires us to report it differently. The state only recognizes very limited situations for excused absences, and that's religious holiday observance, take your child to work day, believe it or not, and college visits. So those are the only things that are deemed excused in the eyes of the state. However, the state's accountability is simply for accountability reasons. Certainly, we don't want kids to be chronically absent, but we also know that illness happens. And so we're looking to make a change that's humanistic and realistic for our school community. So that will go into effect immediately, and a letter was sent home today about that to all families. So again, thank you for a wonderful start to the school year and an almost full September already. And we look forward to many more productive months.
Thank you, Dr. Buckland. Moving on to our approval of meeting minutes, I need a motion to approve 9A to D.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions. Motion to approve business office consent agenda 10A through F.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor? Opposed, abstentions. Motion to approve recommendation of the superintendent of schools consent agenda 11A through H.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor? Opposed, abstentions. I need a motion to approve 11G.
Second.
Discussion. Amy, can I get a roll call on G?
Mrs. Caminiti,
Yes.
Mrs. Farley,
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Mrs. Minies.
Yes.
Mrs. Skolansky.
Yes.
Mr. Tolt,
Yes.
Mrs. Wright,
Yes.
Mrs. Tobacco.
Yes.
Mr. Capone.
Yes. We're up to old business. Do we have any old business anybody would like to discuss? New business. Let's discuss new business.
I mean, I can report on the municipal alliance. So I attended, sorry, they have a new name now, it's Middletown Alliance. I attended that meeting, this past Saturday morning. And the new program that used to be known as Project Plus, so the, substance abuse and alcohol abuse prevention program is now known as the Middletown Alliance Leaders Program. All the new name changes are under the fact that we now have a new grant that is supplying the funding for these programs. And most of the funding now is coming through the settlement from all the opioid cases. Although it's a very sad thing in terms of this is the funding now that's coming in for these programs, it also actually frees them up in being able to do different types of programming and different offerings, whereas the old grant was a little bit more restrictive. So they're looking at actually expanding what they're going to be able to basically offer to the town. So that was actually some good news. The 8th grade program is up and running at the moment, which is the shorter 4-week cycle. But they have a good number of 8th graders in that program, which was really good to see. And then, of course, the longer program will be starting after that with the 5th graders. from the different middle schools, and they're already signing up a lot of children at this point. What's coming next Saturday, the 28th, is Middletown Day, the celebration for our town. The Middletown Alliance will have a booth like they always do at Middletown Day. They will be there with all types of information and small giveaways, so make sure you come see them at Middletown Day. And they're gearing up for some different programming that they'll be offering to the township, you know, throughout October, November, and December.
Thank you very much. So we'll move to public comment. Megan, Ryan, would you like to add anything? As a new board member, you usually have to speak for about 5 minutes. If there's anything you'd like to say, say it. If not, that's
The only thing that I have to say is that, I know Middletown South hasn't had a great turnout and like a big event. I know North does the big bonfire, but South hasn't had an amazing turnout in the past 4 years that I've been here. So this year we're trying to do a homecoming the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So that's in the works. We're trying to get fundraising to profit that. So that's the only new business I have.
pretty good. Thanks, great. All right, anything? No, good. You got it. All right, thank you both for being here. Now moving to public comment on non-agenda items. If anybody would like to make a comment, please step to the microphone, with the name and address for the record.
My name is Jean Marie Ramos. I live on Thompson Avenue. About, you were speaking about, the phones not being in school. Is that something that came on the heels of Josie Walters? That, she took her own life, being bullied at school? Because I saw your commercial that not Engel Entertainment, Jackie Tobacco produced for you to bring, for Kate to bring up. And meet with actually you, Sarah Weinstein. And I'm just seeing whether or not this was on the heels of that. Is that the reason why there's no phones? Because I know, you know, the whole situation with her. And I know the last time when I first came in, that's the first thing I was told, that I cannot discuss it, because it's under investigation. So I did not discuss it. But my daughter, as you know, Mr. Patrick, okay, was also bullied at school. She's 25. She's still here with us. She lives in South Carolina, but she was almost bullied to death as well as Josie Walters. And she just didn't finish it. But I don't take bullying lightly. I do think the school does. I think Middletown takes it lightly. Until you're a victim of it, I've never been a victim, but I've been a parent. And I've watched parents cry. September 14th, Gabriel from Cardiff, Wales. He found a ligature around his neck. And it's Wales. It's not the US. That's sad. He's 12. His life is just starting out. Josie was 14. She was an avid sports player. She was a good kid. And like everybody always told me, you know what, Jean Marie? I think your daughter needs to go see counseling. And that's what it was put down to and shoved. Remember Ann Facendo? She was the principal at Thompson. I believe it was Ann Facendo. And I called Governor Christie, and he sent people over. And only then was I heard. Only then did they want to have a sit-down meeting with me. When the damage was done. And we sat down, and Ann Facendo walks out. And she says, "Hey, Jean Marie, you're from Queens." I say, "Yeah, I don't know you at all. I've never met you." The right doesn't know what the left hand is doing at all. Jackie, you don't have to look at me, because we know. I tried to congratulate you last year, and you came right up to me and you snubbed me. I said, "Congratulations," and you walked away. Everybody should know what's behind this,
Thank you.
because,
The 3 minutes are up. Please conclude your comment.
in conclusion to my comment, I think there should be stricter laws on bullying. I think parents should be fined. I think parents should be fined. You hit them in the pocket. And then that child comes home. I'm not, I'm concerned with my child. They get hit with a fine, then you double the fine. Then 3 strikes you're out.
Thank you.
I know, Bruce, you're done with me, right?
But
You're done
it's
with
not
me
that-
talking?
It's not,
Is there a line behind?
ma'am, it's not that I'm done with you talking, it's that the board has a policy for 3 minutes and you're well past your 3 minutes.
Well, I thank you for the extra 2.5 minutes.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to make a public comment? Please step up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record.
Bureau of Safety at Shire Drive, Middletown. I just wanted to take a minute, seeing that Dr. Tiedemann is retiring, to thank her. When she came in, at least for me, and special ed, it was kind of a dark time. And I can't express what it meant to me to have somebody come in that believed in the law and the research and help push for inclusion. And although there's still work to be done, I think some great changes have been made with her help and continuing with the superintendent of for your police and inclusion. When you know, special ed used to report through operations, there's more where do we put them versus how do we educate them. So I think there have been some great changes and again, I appreciate all her efforts. It's kind of a thankless job at some point, but I just wanted to say that I appreciate it for what.
Here. Anyone else wish to make a public comment? Seeing no more public comments, I wish to adjourn the meeting and the motion to approve.
So.
Discussion, all in favor? Aye, opposed, abstentions. Have a great night, everyone.